you have a great deal of experience for any potential young listeners, people finishing up high school or college that maybe see some similar traits in themselves of being like, I really don't see myself working for someone else. And it's even hard to see myself doing one thing, but I feel like I'm going to be a failure then. Like, how do I even, like, how do I navigate that? So what advice would you have in perspective in that area?
Yeah, I would say my number one advice would be, like, seek the Lord first. And I mean, that can be double-sided because this could speak to someone who knows the Lord and they're like, okay, yeah, I get it. Or this could be someone who's like, the Lord, who? You know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, we all have different walks and we have different seasons. But, like, although I feel like there's so much confusion, I feel like I have so much clarity in my confusion. Like, we just talked out my whole thought process, right? But it's not that I don't know what I don't have to, what I need to do. It's just me not doing it, you know? And I think part of the process is actually figuring out what it is that you need to do. Not what it is that you are going to be, but what it is that you need to do.
Sure. That's an important distinction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, I never, like, even when I was talking to you, I never said, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be a publisher, I'm gonna write up, like, no, I just have these different, like, bullet points of things I absolutely know that is what I was created to do. Now what title I get from that after I do those things, I don't know, like, you know, but ultimately my title is going to be an obedient child of God, and that's enough. If no one ever recognized me as anything else, God recognizing me is enough for me. So if I didn't know the Lord, that would, you know, I'll be searching and seeking for a title. But then you get those titles and then you realize that's not enough. Like, you know, that's not enough for your identity. So I would definitely say, like, seek the Lord first, and then with everything else, it will follow. And then secondly, I would say, just go for it. Like, go for it, and just because you haven't seen it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And the more you talk about it, the more people get it.
Yeah.
And that was one thing that I really struggled with when moving from Florida to coming to Marshall. It was a huge transition for me.
Yeah.
I mean, companies are like, just the way that they market, just the way that they, like, what I was actually going to school for, literally, you can go to any company and they would just about be like, you know how to work Final Cut Pro?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Like, yes, we want to do that. Like, whereas I moved here and they're like, what videography? What is that? Like, what? Facebook? You want me to put ads on Facebook? Like, what? You know, and I felt like I had to explain that what I was passionate about. But just because people didn't understand it doesn't mean that there's not an outlet for it. And you could vouch for that yourself because look at what you're doing, you know?
Sure, yeah.
So sometimes you can't, I guess it'll be humble yourself.
Yeah.
To know, like, sometimes you got to explain your crafting. Sometimes you have to explain your creativity. Not everyone's going to get the vision, but it doesn't mean that they don't want to be a part of it.
Right.
They just don't see it just yet. And then I guess my third advice would be, not everyone's going to get the vision. Yeah. Not everyone's going to get the vision, but you stay true to you. Like, I mean, even my mom was just like, so you make money from taking pictures? Like, I mean, for, like, some people, all they see is, like, what comes out. You know, if they're used to working that 9 to 5, or they're used to, like, how are you surviving? How are you living? How are you, you know, like, trying to put money towards the other side of it. Like, how is this beneficial to you? There's a lot of things I had to do for free. There's a lot of things I do for free. There's, you know, it didn't just come out of the blue. Yeah. Like, I mean, now I would say it's definitely picking up, and it's definitely allowing my family to have a lot more financial freedom, you know? But that wasn't the purpose of why I started it.
Sure. Yep.
And so now just anything that I get from it, I'm like, dang, you want to pay me? Okay, cool. Like,
it's a great feeling.
It's like I'm actually in this transition where people are like, I don't know. I like had this person reach out the other day. Actually, two people reach out the other day, and they wanted me to take pictures. And they're like, "Wow, I mean, can we work a price?" And I'm like, "No, I'm actually a full-time photographer. This isn't a hobby. Like I've actually made this price go for like, you know, taking the pictures, editing the pictures, like the equipment that." And I felt like any other time I would have been like, I'm being so rude, like this is, but now I was like, no, this is what it is actually, you know, and I wasn't always there, like, you know, to actually know the worth of my talent. But now I'm like, no, man, like people are, I'm not begging people to pay for this. People are willing to do it. So it's like, if this is something you really want, then I'll be something that you really wanted to invest in, you know? And it was like, okay, either that. I'm like, cool. You decide. Yeah. Whenever you're done, visit www.beige.media. That's where you do all your bookings. And I was like, dang, I'm pretty official right now. Like, and it was cool because I remember at one point I felt like I had to like basically convince people why they should book me. And now I'm like, look, go look at my pictures. If you like them, let's do it. Let's do it. If not, then okay. You know, like.
Yeah. I think those are good pieces of advice because there is a lot of truth to, I mean, momentum has value, getting started has value. You're not going to have everyone on your team. They're just not everyone's just going to get a vision for it. And you really have to ignore voices on the side that the people that don't get it. Because they can really get in your head and make you question, like, before you even start, like, oh, maybe I don't know what I'm doing. This is gonna be hard. Maybe this is gonna be too hard. Maybe I shouldn't do it. Like, dangerous territory.